Hello, guys, and welcome to another one of my little streams. Well, that was fun. And, well, I'm sure you're all here because of the announcement. But first, let me say that today is the 40th anniversary of the premiere of Return of the Jedi. And of course, I wanted to celebrate that properly. 40 years is a long time. And even though it's a bit silly in places, I still love that movie. So it definitely deserves to be celebrated. And without further ado, I'd like to announce that for the past 3 months or so, give or take, I have been working on Return of the Jedi, the Specialized Edition V3.0, and it's finished, and I will be releasing it today. I'm sure many of you have already guessed that that's what the announcement would be, given that it was the 40th anniversary of Jedi. But yeah. Looking at your comments here. And yeah, people are saying happy birthday, Return of the Jedi. That's exactly what we're here to do and say, celebrate Return of the Jedi. Of course, I will be adding a link to a Google Doc that will contain all the necessary information on or where to get this. I tried to make the download easier this time, but I still had to split it into several RAR files because I had reports from testers that they had trouble downloading such a large file. Of course, the 4K version. Oh, I should have mentioned, yes, it's in UHD, of course. So the UHD version is around 50 gigabytes. So that's a pretty heavy file. So I had to split it into four smaller files that you can, like always, recombine. Another reason for this was I wanted to have it wrapped in a RAR file so that I upload it to Google Docs and Google Drive, and I didn't want them to be able to see inside with because the RAR is password protected. So yeah, I will be posting that link just as soon as I finish this stream, and I guess we can get into it. I wanted to show you, of course. Oh, I'm in the wrong window. I wanted to show you what I did here. So the whole thing is UHD, and interestingly enough, the preview here is still showing the countdown. Hopefully this is actually streaming. Let's see. Yeah, that seems to be working now. Okay. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I wanted to show you what I did for this 3.0 release, and of course, as I said, the whole thing is done in 4K. I also made a 1080p version for those of you who don't care about 4K and just want a smaller file, even though even the HD version is over 20 gigabytes. Well, actually 28 with all the audio tracks, so it's not that much smaller, but it's a Blu-ray compatible encode, so if some of you wanted to remix it to Blu-ray and burn it to disk, it should work. Anyway, I basically, as usual, Despecialized. I took the official UHD Blu-ray and replaced the parts that were changed in the special edition. But this time, thanks to Team Negative One, I had the amazing 4K 83 restoration, which comes from. They're very secretive about what kind of print it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not a. It's not just any print. It's so like crisp and clean. It looks really great. So thanks to that, I had an amazing source to fill in the gaps. Of course, still, let's see somewhere further. Here's the Blu-ray. Oh, I'm in the wrong color space. That's better. That's the official UHD Blu-ray. Looks like this. Let's find some. Yeah. And 4K 83 looks like this, which is really amazing, but still it's got a lot more grain and dirt. So I did have to do a lot of. If I zoom in, it's I always forget that the stream. Oh, someone's asking, is it a 70mm print? I wouldn't say so, because 70mm prints were cropped slightly, and this shows the full picture. I would imagine something like an inter negative or maybe even an inter positive. But like I said, they're very secretive about it, so I don't know. But that would be my guess, because the detail levels are way better compared to the LPP 35mm print I had scanned for the previous version of Despecialized. But like as you can see here, compared to the Blu-ray, it's still way grainier, and also it's got even though it's like very clean compared to some of the other prints we've seen. I don't know how much of that is actual cleanup, but it's even got a lot less dirt and scratches than 4K 77 even after the cleanup. So I think it was a very clean print, but it's still got a lot more dirt on it than the UHD Blu-ray version. So I had to do quite extensive cleanup. As usual, like where I had to, I replaced entire shots, but where I didn't, for example, here we have the Vader eyebrows. I only replaced the eyes, and here we have Despecialized. As you can see, it's the same as the Blu-ray, only with eyebrows and of course color correction. I did the same for the blinking Ewoks and some other stuff. So yeah, and I really tried to remove every change that at least we know about. So here we have the Lucasfilm logo, the 20th Century Fox logo. Yeah, here you can really see the kind of cleanup that I did. Like, this is the 35mm and this is the Specialized. I mean, of course, degraining this heavily is not ideal, but since I'm working as my primary source, I'm working with a source that was heavily degrained. I had to do the same thing for of course, for the 35mm, and enhance it, like sharpening and stuff. in order to make it fit. And I think actually in this time it's not an exaggeration when I say it fits pretty seamlessly with the official Blu-ray or UHD Blu-ray footage. So of course I did the logos, and even like, of course, recomposited shots. So for example, where are we? There. This one has been recomposited digitally. So here you can see this is the Blu-ray, and this is the 35mm. You can see the ships are in different positions relative to the other ships, and as well as the star field. And here's the Despecialized. Then, of course, there were entire sequences that, like, Jedi is kind of specific that there were entire sequences basically replaced. So it has fewer, like, less amount of changes, but the changes that were made are pretty extensive. So, of course, we have the Lapti Neck song, which is called something else in the special edition. I don't remember what, but here we are. Yep. The silly CGI. Of course, the original puppets are kind of silly as well, but still, that at least has like a nostalgic charm to it. Anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, for the Laptinek, I had to replace the entire sequence, and again, I did some cleanup, and I actually manually removed like thousands of bits of dirt from it. Then, of course, we have, oh yeah, of course, the I put in the original theatrical subtitles, as you can see. I will try at some point to make a comparison gallery, but that is time consuming. And actually, like, I gave myself a deadline with this one to actually have it done for this anniversary. So I was really cramming it. Even today I was still rendering and uploading, and so I didn't really have much time for stuff like making a comparison gallery, but hopefully I will be able to do it later. Yeah, then of course there are like changes like this, where they completely redid these god rays. I would not say they look better now. I think they actually look more fake than they did in the original. And here's the Specialized. Oh, right. Someone's saying Jedi Rocks is the special edition song. All right. Okay. I'm looking. First, so sorry for the hold up. I'm trying to read through your comments, and for some reason, scrolling isn't working very well here. All right. Yeah, like someone's asking, what specific differences does V3 have over the previous release? Well, mainly the fact that it's UHD throughout, like all just UHD sources. So it's like way higher quality in general. Otherwise, like in terms of how much is despecialized, I think is pretty much the same. Like I did pretty much fully despecialize the version 2.5 as well, but that was that was done at 720p, not even 1080. So this is a huge leap in quality. Then, of course, we have the Sarlacc. Again, all the altered shots were replaced. And of course, again, even the recomposited shots you can see here. Another thing that you can, I don't know if you can tell at all in the stream, but I actually added a light layer of grain on top of the whole movie. I degrained the 35mm footage to about the same level as the Blu-ray, so it would fit, and then added a nice uniform layer of filmic grain on top of it. I think that really helps the Blu-ray, which is like scrubbed completely. And yeah, so that's the Sarlacc. Of course. Then another thing that was done, of course, the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan was recomposited in the special edition. So I put back in the original compositing. Here, as you can see, I kept the higher quality Blu-ray and only replaced Alec Guinness here. It's basically a split screen. I replaced the whole left part to make sure that the original compositing is actually preserved. And here you can kind of see that that 4K 83 is really amazing, but still, like, it's worth getting a bump in quality from this. And actually, the funny thing is, for me personally, I would be perfectly happy watching 4K 83. But for example, when I want to watch it with someone, I actually still, like, last time I watched Return of the Jedi, I still watched my old Grindhouse version because I really enjoy the 35mm like Grindhouse feel of it. But when watching with someone, you know, like yesterday, I wanted to check out Despecialized for mistakes or things, so I watched the whole thing, but I also invited a friend over to watch it with me. And so for this kind of thing, I think it's really worth it having a really good print or restoration that people won't feel like it looks like old film, or you know what I mean. Like, yeah, here you can really see how different the Force Ghost looks on the special edition. Then you have things like this where they stabilize. For the Blu-ray, they stabilize this part. Ooh, okay, I don't. I'll be able to find it again. Doesn't matter. I even undid little things like that because I think I really enjoy when I'm watching an older movie like this. I really enjoy noticing stuff like this in the movie because it's kind of a testament to how movies were made at the time. So I put back in the original compositing of this overlay here. Same with the next shot. They even actually this one I used completely from 35mm because they even recomposited the stars behind the Emperor here. You can see there's quite a bit of difference. They actually didn't even do a very good job rotoing him here, which I think that's what they probably did. So yeah, the original compositing here is actually better than the special edition one. And of course later in that same shot we get this probably what was originally a hand-drawn mask, and hand-drawn in this case means actually using a brush and drawing animation cells. So I think that's worth preserving. It's fun to see it here. Then we've got stuff like as far as I know, they haven't made any changes to the speeder bike chase, which is understandable because it looks amazing to this day. Although, like, when you frame by frame it, you can see some stuff that definitely could do with fixing for a special edition, but I'm really glad they didn't because that saved me a lot of work. And it definitely looks absolutely amazing for the time. Then, of course, we have the Ewok eyes. And yeah, the new version is super creepy. Yeah, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. It makes him look really creepy. I can understand the blinking. Actually, apparently they even like during the original shoot they really tried to figure out a way to have the Ewoks blink, but they didn't manage it. So that I can see why they wanted to fix that, even though it doesn't look very good, does it? And the eyes are just they make him look so much less cute. Which, of course, generally, if the original concept was for the Ewoks to not look so cute, I'd be down with that because... But since the idea is for them to be cute, this definitely is not helping. So yeah, I undid all of that. Then, of course, there's more Ewoks blinking in this sequence. I don't know if I'll be able to find the shots, but... What else was changed? Yeah, here there's a, if I can find it, there was this shot of the Vader coming up to the Emperor, where they did this really terrible power window thing. Oh, come on. So I tried to undo that. I don't know if I can find the shot now, but maybe it's later in the sequence. Oh, and of course, we have the Emperor's slugs. There was some, for those of you who don't know, there was some problem with his makeup around his eye here. So they hand painted a mask to cover it up in post. And of course, that mask was pretty... Well, it wasn't very visible, I guess. Like when you look at this, it's not super visible, but it's always been there until the 2011 Blu-ray. So even on the DVD version, they kept those, and then they fixed them later. So of course I unfixed them. I'm looking at JL Leichter is asking, do you think these prints will ever hit Disney Plus? Well, not these specific ones, and I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like, I think it's pretty clear that George Lucas has some sort of clause in the contract when he sold Star Wars to Disney, because everybody in the know keeps saying that it's just impossible to release them. We will see if it will happen at some point, maybe after George Lucas is no longer with us. Not that I would wish anything like that. But to be honest, like we have these fantastic 35mm 4K restorations. Now the Specialized for Jedi. I finished this in 3 months. It was pretty intense. So I don't know if I'll get straight back on it and finish the other two. But I would like to try and finish them this year, but I can't promise anything. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, now we have these fantastic fan preservations. It's not so much of a problem anymore. And there's definitely some in the ILM documentary on Disney Plus, they scanned the original versions. They weren't... At first, I thought they used some of the fan restorations, but apparently it's new scans that they did themselves, because they don't fit with any of the fan preservations. Then, of course, all the lightsabers were changed as well in the Blu-ray. So it's like, for example, here it's not very obvious, but then if I can find some other bit of the lightsaber dual, like around here, for example. Okay, zoom in a lot more so I can have more feeling in it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so for example, here you can see there were some slight mistakes in the original compositing, and they redid the lightsabers. Or actually, I think they just overlaid new ones over the original ones, because here you can still kind of see that compositing mistake underneath. But what I think is more of a problem with the aesthetic is that they made the glows around the lightsabers a lot sharper. They were originally a lot more sort of feathered, which I think looks better. So yeah, I took the lightsabers from the 35mm, put them right back in. Which wasn't very easy at all, because the 35mm version has different framing, and it wobbles quite a bit. So I had to like match move the two plates together before I could replace the lightsabers. So that was quite a bit of work. There's a plugin in Nuke that can sort of do this, but it's not perfect and it's quite slow. So I still had to do a lot of it manually. Yep. So that's the lightsabers. And then, of course, one major... Well, there's this bit where Vader throws the Emperor down the shaft. That's been recomposited and altered quite a bit. This one was a big cleanup job, because I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this stream, but like, look at these smokes, for example, how much dirt there is in them. Here it's in basically the entire shots has this kind of dirt, and there's lots and lots of dirt inside this explosion, so I had to clean up all that. Here's the special edition one compared to the 35mm. As you can see, it looks very different. And of course, here's Despecialized. You can see it. most of that dirt is now gone. And of course, another big change that I already mentioned was Vader's eyebrows being removed. There's actually, I don't think you will be able to see it in the stream, and I posted this in on my Instagram a while ago. But yeah, it's pretty terrible. Like, what? And the thing is, of course, like at normal, normally viewing, you wouldn't notice it. But working in the visual effects industry, I can tell you that every shot goes through QC and they check it out like this. And in any of the productions, even like made for TV, something like this would never pass QC. So like you can see the static image without grain and totally different color. Of course, it then starts working once the shadow disappears, and most of you maybe, I don't know how visible this will be on the stream, but like to me as a compositor, this is a mistake. That's like, this is what the first version would look like that I probably wouldn't even send to my supervisor for checking. So that's another like another one of these changes that were done really sloppily. Samuel 1 Kenobi says, Lucas said the 1997 edition was his definitive edition. Then why did he continue to change it? Then? Which is it? We don't need a new version every format. Yeah, I completely agree. Although, like, honestly, if the original versions were released, I wouldn't care at all if he made more changes with every new format. I might even be looking forward to like watching the new version, like seeing what interesting new changes were made. Okay, getting back to this. Of course, we have the Death Star explosion being altered. This shot was also recomposited, as you can see. Yeah, even like the position of the Death Star is different, and it's completely recomposited, like the star field's different, everything, or in different position. And then of course we get the stupid ring around the explosion. So, and this was another one that really that was really dirty. I'll sharpen it a bit just so you can see it better in the stream. Look how much dirt there is. Well, that's not a bit, is it? In the explosion. And yeah. Of course, I kind of overdid the sharpening here just to make the dirt more visible in the stream, but even without the sharpening, it's still there. and I managed to clean up most of it, which was a big job as well. Uh, and then, of course, finally, we have the Yabna sequence, the end celebration, uh, which was altered quite heavily for the special editions. New stuff added in. And it was completely re-edited in the process, so I had to use complete 35mm shots for like 2/3 of it. And of course, the big part of this is the ghost of Anakin. And actually, let's have a look at this. Like, what's this? So you can totally see how it doesn't even belong. It's got different defocus. It's too sharp compared to the rest of the footage, and the head's floating a little bit. It just doesn't fit. And of course, we have Sebastian Shaw back. And that's it. Well, I mean, there's a lot more changes that were undone, but those were pretty much the most major ones. Of course, also the theatrical credits were restored. And I stabilized them and cleaned them so they look really good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and then of course we have the specialized credits. I did notice. I guess it's to do in some players. I guess it's to do with the audio tracks uh, only being up to the end of the original credits. So in some players, the specialized credits don't play properly. And they're pretty long credits. I had a lot of help from you guys, and I really tried to put in everyone who helped in any way, but I'm sure I must have forgotten some people, and if I have, I apologize. And I hope you'll let me know, and maybe for the next movie I can add you in. And for fun, I also did the I also took the MPAA logo and turned it into this fan edit warning or slash disclaimer at the very end. Someone's asking, does this have HDR? No, unfortunately not. I don't. I don't have proper equipment for doing HDR. Ali Pasha Sadri sent me $20. Thank you very much. Well, anyway, yeah. What was what was I saying? Oh yeah, about HDR. I don't have the proper equipment to do an HDR grade, uh, and so I couldn't do HDR. Uh, so yeah, that's just the way it is. I don't have any other justification for it other than I'm just not able to do it right now. Yoda-sama saying HDR hasn't won me over. To be honest, me neither. Like I don't know. I can see the difference side by side, but like when unlike when I looked at when full HD first came out, like I looked at something that was in full HD and I like immediately knew this is HD. This is not like standard definition. But with HDR, without the direct comparison, I don't really. Maybe like I haven't seen the right HDR. Like maybe didn't see the right TVs. Wow, Stefano M, another donation. Thank you very much. I don't know if your full name is just not showing up or. HDR increases color and then makes peak brightness of certain stuff higher. Yeah, but that's uh, I don't know. I've seen like some really awesome SDR colors. Like my TV actually is not HDR, but it's got like really good color gamut. So it stuff looks pretty amazing on it even without HDR. But I can see it. Like I'm not saying HDR it wouldn't be better. It probably would, but I just don't have the equipment for it. It's like to actually do HDR grading, you have to have like a proper HDR grading monitor, which costs like so much money, like thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands more likely. Mm. Yep. So okay, I guess uh, I'll end the stream here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Uh, I'll just go through the comments really quickly to see if I didn't miss any donations to thank. Ah. Oh, this is stupid. I'm sorry. I'm monitoring this on a laptop here, and it's not ideal situation. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay. So anyway, I think I'll end the stream here, uh, and I'm gonna put the link right after I finish. I'm gonna put the link on the Facebook page and probably in the description of this stream. Actually, why not? If I'm posting the link anyways, hold on a second. And there you go. So for those who may not have noticed, I just posted the link in the chat here. I will also add it to the description below this video. I don't know if it will appear right away, but there it is. Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching and for commenting, and also like for just being fans, fellow fans, because I couldn't do it without the support of you guys. So thank you very much, and may the Schwartz be with you.